She had always been the kind of woman who could command a room, confident, magnetic, a little too flirtatious at times. When we first met, I found it charming how people gravitated to her, how her laughter lit up any space. I never imagined that same charm would one day be weaponized against me, used to humiliate me in front of the very people who once called us the perfect couple. It all began to unravel the night she didn't invite me to her office party. Correction, the night she excluded me. She said it was a private employee event to celebrate a major client acquisition. I didn't argue. I was a supportive husband. I trusted her, but something about it didn't sit right. It wasn't insecurity. It was instinct, a quiet knowing born from subtle changes. Her phone now had a password. She started working late nearly every night, yet never brought home a laptop. She smelled of unfamiliar cologne and claimed it was a new shampoo. So I waited, watched, listened. I didn't accuse. I observed. I logged each inconsistency like silent timestamps, missed calls, vague plans, unconvincing smiles. Then came the whispers from mutual friends, the awkward smiles from her co-workers when I once showed up unannounced to drop off a scarf she forgot. I knew something was wrong. Not paranoia, proof. So I dug, not like a madman, but methodically. Meetings on her calendar that didn't exist. Dinner receipts she tried to hide. And then a hotel booking under her name for 2 guests. The same weekend, I was told she was attending a leadership seminar. When I gently confronted her, she cried, gave me half-truths, told me I was being paranoid. But liars talk too much when they should just listen. And that's when I decided I wouldn't yell, I wouldn't beg, I wouldn't crumble. I'd wait, because some truths need to explode in front of a crowd. And she gave me the perfect stage. It was the biggest night of her company's year. A black-tie gala meant to impress board members and investors. And she walked in with him on her arm, her lover, like I didn't exist, like I was some old chapter she'd outgrown. She smiled that smug smile that said, I've moved on. You can't stop me. But I wasn't trying to stop her. I'd already spoken to the company's CTO, a former university friend of mine. I had shown him just enough. Screenshots, subtle details, quiet concerns. Just enough to trigger an internal review. And tonight, while she raised her champagne glass beside the man who helped her betray me, she had no idea the room she ruled was about to turn on her. I stepped through the doors in the tailored suit she once helped pick out, uninvited but very much expected. Thanks to a quiet tip from the inside, her eyes found mine across the room. Shock, then fear, then confusion. That was the last moment she had control. Because just then, the CTO walked onto the stage, microphone in hand. Before we continue tonight's celebration, he began, we need to address an urgent ethics matter regarding misuse of company resources. The screen behind him changed. No more smiling team photos. No champagne toasts. Just cold data. Flagged expenses. False travel claims. Meetings that never happened. Blurred names. Familiar dates. And then grainy surveillance photos, hotel lobbies, restaurant tables, her holding hands with him, her company badge clipped to her bag. The ballroom went silent. Gasps, whispers, shifting glances. She stood frozen, her glass trembling. Her lover backed away like a roach caught in light. And I walked through the room, slow, steady, until I stood in front of the woman I once vowed to protect. This is a legacy you chose, I said. Then I turned to the CTO. I think that's all the context your board needs. And I left. Behind me, the questions erupted. HR raised her voice. Her lover denied everything. She tried to spin the story, to cry, to regain control. But it was too late. Her illusion shattered under the weight of truth. In the weeks that followed, she faced hearings, investigations, a terminated contract, and silence from me, not out of spite, out of closure. Because I didn't walk in that night to confront her. I walked in to turn her perfect evening to ash. And when she messaged, called, begged to explain, to say she felt lost, that she was just trying to find herself, I never answered, Because you don't negotiate with arsonists who torch love and call it self-discovery. You let them stand in the ruins they created, and you walk away with your dignity intact and your silence louder than anything she ever said.